Okay, so I can start. Hello everyone. My name is Ruslan. I'm managing partner of the law firm TX Legal. Basically, our activity is to support IT companies, Web3 companies, and just normal companies, fintech companies around the world. Our topic today is incorporation of a company. Incorporation of a company itself, it's not so difficult task. You just go to your local administrator. For example, in UK, you go to Her Majesty company's house. In states of USA, you go to the states registrators. In Estonia, you go to the office, local office, and you just register a company. You pay a fee, you provide some documents of the founders, of the directors, and the company is ready. But the basic question when we are talking about incorporation of a company is where should we structure our business? So as I can understand, basically here we have guys from the Web3, gamify, tokenization of an assets, socialify, and etc. And when you are in a business activity, when it goes with the Web3, it always about financial services. So how the usually Web3 project looks like? First of all, they incorporate a company, they need to obtain some investments, they create a token as an investment vehicle. Also, they may sell some shares through shares trade contracts, and etc. And then they publish their product. So when they are published their product, they usually starting everywhere in the world without any exclusion. So, for example, when you are starting your gamify platform, your launchpad, your exchange, basically your market is the whole world because the crypto in itself has no any borders. And when it comes to the incorporation, it comes to regulations, it arises a lot of questions. First question you need to understand when you are structuring your business is what about your legal requirements? So as you are interacting in a business activity in the Web3, it's always about finances. For example, at least in my description of, for example, if we take into account a launchpad, regulation requirements could be arise when you issue a token, and for example, when you starting your product, because the cornerstone of the activity of a launchpad is selling other tokens, marketing other tokens. What is the problem here? The problem here is in that, for example, you incorporate a company in Singapore, you obtain a license in Singapore. When you are incorporating a company in Singapore and obtaining a license in Singapore, this license gives you ability to legally work only in Singapore. But license in Singapore, for example, do not give you a right to legally work, for example, in Hong Kong, in USA, in Russia, in UK, and etc. We need to understand first idea that if your project needs to obtain a license requirements, you need to obtain license everywhere. And in nowadays situation, it's almost impossible to obtain a license everywhere in the world because it's costly, it's a lot of administrative barriers, and etc. When we are structuring there is no at the moment there is no safe harbor for the crypto project. We cannot advise any jurisdiction that will be like, okay, you incorporate here, you just do this, and everything will go fine. There is no jurisdiction at the moment at all. We have for token issuance, but for token issuance we have that kind of jurisdictions. It's like a BVI. a lot of company with when they go to the token emission activity, they go to the British Virgin Islands. But when we are talking about exchanges, about Launchpad, about exchange services, about funds, about custodial activity, there is no safe harbor. And when you go to incorporate a company and obtain a license in one jurisdiction, it gives you no right to work legally in other jurisdictions. This first thing you should understand about the regulation at the moment. So the most of the projects at the moment are do not obey the law. The most of the projects in the cryptosphere do not obey the law, and the only reason why crypto projects not under attack at the moment, not because they are compliant and they choose a good jurisdiction. The only reason why they are safe at the moment, because the government has no decision to attack them. For example, to give you a metaphor about the situation at the moment, on every project, on every crypto project at the moment, government can punish every crypto project at the moment, but they do not do so because there is no political will at the moment. But they can punish everyone. This is the nowadays situation, and no license will not help you. So how it works? So how we will construct our communication today? I will give you an overview on how the situation at the moment works, how the practice works. You may arise your questions that you have, and I will answer that. So about detailed information, I can provide on the topics of intellectual property, on the topics of incorporation for the token issuance, and give you advice on how to be licensed. So if we are talking about licensing requirements, I forget to say about that. So licensing requirements at the moment, and companies obtain license only for two reasons. The first reason is to because they want to be on board on exchanges, on the banks, on the marketing platforms like Google, like Apple. So this is idea why the companies obtain license. The second reason is the marketing. So when you have like license, it's for users, you are more legit. This is two main reasons, but the license do not execute the main idea of compliance. If you start a crypto project right now and you issue a token, so from you can be punished in any way. How it works right now. So you may ask me questions about the legal, what on your legal side, and I will answer it. Kylie, you can manage the questions.
Oh, hello, Ruslan. Yeah, we're building a product using the NFTs and tokens as well, and I think our main concern is related to the SEC in USA, and if you're So, what is the current status of that, and and how do you avoid USA problems?
Yeah, regarding SEC, US market, one of the scariest market at the moment in the crypto sphere. So you may read some articles on Cointelegraph, Coinbase, CNBC, that SEC is a very scary monster that always punish crypto projects. But if we go to the statistics, so let's go to the SEC website, CFTC website. So at the moment, we have like 160 SEC cases from the starting of the crypto industry until this moment. 150 and 160. So last time when I checked it, it was like 148. Yeah, only 160. So only, and half of this number is 80, like 80 of cases is about the scams. So regarding other half is about normal project that somehow do not obey the law. Like in these cases, we may mention Binance, Coinbase, Floyd Mayweather, Okidao, and etc. So from the starting of the crypto industry until this moment, we have, from the scariest regulator in the world, we have only 80 cases, administrative and court cases. Only 80. So taking into account that we have like almost 50,000 of crypto projects, and all of these projects are to every of this project the American citizen can obtain and assess. It's not so much cases. At the moment, in the US, there is no decision on the political level what attitude to build towards the crypto industry. They are waiting for the election, the next election. At the moment, for example, if you have a small project with a small liquidity and you are not a scam, the chance that American regulator will take you into account and start a case against you is very low, very, very low. But for example, if you want to exclude this risk fully, you need to do several things. First of all, exclude Americans. Second is exclude Americans. So you need to exclude Americans on the legal and technical level. So on technical level, I mean IP and QIC, like some stuff. On legal level, in the contracts. It's two things you need to do. When you excluding Americans from the investment side, from the user side, so you will have no problem. But if you not exclude Americans and your project is not the first 100 in the coin market cap, so you will also will have a really low risk of having problems.
Okay, so if we make if we had the website and let's say we do the ICO and we have the KYC and we block the USA region and we say US people not involved. If the US person, use VPN and use a fake KYC, that's not our problem, right?
It's not your problem. You do the exact due diligence that you need to do. It's his problem. If he use a fake QIC, yes. But if you not conduct any QIC, this will be your problem.
Okay, good. So I think that we can just probably do that. When we do ICO, we just create a geo block and then have some form they fill out, right? Yeah.
Yes. How it usually works. Geo block, QIC, that works. Yes. So guys, any questions? I'm ready to answer anything. I will translate to you everything I know.
Yes, I have one question about the overseas corporation. Is it I ask something related to that? Yeah, I mean, last time when I talked with someone about incorporating in overseas, because right now we're based in South Korea, but the thing is there are a lot of regulations in South Korea because of the Luna Terra Fund, what happened before. So what we are planning to release the token is after we incorporate in overseas area. And there was one guy who was talking about that I should cooperate in Singapore and maybe in England, Virgin Island place. But I mean, I kind of want to minimize the resource. The guy said that if I only incorporate in England, Virgin Island place, it is. I mean, the British Virgin Islands.
You mean British Virgin Islands? Yes.
Yeah. British Virgin Islands.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if I just incorporate in British Virgin Island, he said I might not be able to move around the dollars or the money because like they won't really provide you the bank account for the blockchain companies in British Virgin Islands, and so that we have to kind of incorporate in British Virgin Island and at the Singapore at the same time to move out our liquidation. But I mean, is there any like non-legal area that is possible to have the uh, bank account and with the small regulation at the same time?
Yeah. As I understand you, we have here several questions. First of all, we have a question about how to structure your project and minimize your risks. The second question, and how we will do with the fiat, with the banks, with the bank accounts.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct? So
yeah, that's right.
Talking about the structuring the project, the usual structure is like two companies. One company is about token issuance. The second company is operational company, or the company that collects intellectual property. For example, if you are like a project that provides SaaS solution, or you have like marketplace, you need two companies. One company that will be operating as a marketplace for crypto activity for them, DeFi's, for NFTs, and etc. The second company is about the token issuance. So for token issuance, it usually we use British Virgin Islands. It's the best option at the moment because there is no problems with the regulators. We have zero taxations, and it's just best market practice. About the operational company, so it can be a Singapore, but you need to take into account a lot of details about, first of all, what is your project about? So what is your project about?
What our project is about, GameFi projects. We are basically developing casual NFT games at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, we have our operational
in your
uh-huh. Oh yeah, you could go ahead.
Yeah. So you develop games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
At the moment, you need to understand that I don't give you any advice. I just try to think about your project. First questions that I will ask you about your project is fiat money. Why you need fiat money in your project? And is it possible to construct your project only in crypto?
Yeah, we need fiat currency to pay off our employees. Yeah, I mean,
employees.
Yeah, they don't really accept crypto as a
employees. The second question: where your employees located?
South Korea.
South Korea. Do you have employment contract or you have civil contract with your employees?
Oh, we have employment contract.
Employment in the South Korea company.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
South Korea company. For example, how it can work like? You already have a company in South Korea, and you operating. You need fiat money only for payment checks to your employers. That's correct.
Probably, yeah. And also some marketing fees when we get the game out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you already have a Korea company, how it can be look like? We have a company in South Korea where employees works. Some of these employees create like intellectual property, like design, like soft code, and etc.
Mm-hmm.
So we create, we incorporate a company that is responsible for token issuance and operational activity of GameFi project in offshore zone in BVI. So we aggregate here all the currency in crypto. We aggregate money in crypto on the BVI company. So when you need to provide a fiat money on a Korean company, how it will look like? For example, Korean company incorporate a exchange account on a Kraken exchange. And between Korean company and the BVI company, we just create a contract for software development. As your company in Korea is software developer, they provide soft to the BVI company, and BVI pay it in crypto. They send a crypto to the Kraken exchange, for example, and on Kraken exchange, it converts in fiat, and fiat goes to your bank account in Korea. For example, it's not just a action plan for you, but for example, how it look like. So we separate risks. We create a company that is responsible for code development in good jurisdictions. Korea is a good jurisdiction for code development and intellectual property protection. We okay with the fiat here, and we all the risks activity that is that go with the sorry, somewhere I can hear myself. All risks activity that goes with the Web3 gaming and token emission, we send to the offshore company. So how it usually works.
I definitely agree with you, and that was actually what we are planning to do. But the news that I heard is that from British Virgin Island, you are not really able to get any like fiat bank account if you're running.
No. I repeat my idea. On the British Virgin Islands, you have only crypto. You send crypto on a Kraken exchange account that belongs to a Korea company, and Korea company converts crypto to fiat.
Oh no, that's not possible in Korea. Like if you want to change the crypto and if you want to do the crypto business, you need another license. That's why, yeah, we kind of didn't want it to do the British Island and
No,
Korea.
I think Ruslan.
No. You don't understand me. I mean that you open an exchange account for your Korean company.
Mhm.
You open an account, and on this account, for example, Kraken, for example, any other exchange, legal license exchange in Korea, any exchange, and you send crypto to the exchange account, and then you convert this crypto to Korean wonas, and then you send wonas on your bank account. You're not involved in a crypto activity. You just receive crypto for your work as a software developer. Understand?
Oh, I understand. So yeah, I get paid as a crypto from the British Virgin Island company as a personally,
Yes.
and then I convert that into the
Yes.
Korean one, and then try to pay it.
Yes.
Yeah. That could also work. Thank you very much. I mean, but it might have some the tax issues about like how I earn the money. But yeah, I mean that could be also really. I mean that might be much better than incorporating in Singapore and like three companies and
For sure. As I said before, it's not action plan for you. I just try to imagine how we can solve it with minimum blood here. So okay, we can create a structure that is better suited for you, but we need to dive in.
So Ruslan, I'm one of the cohort members as well. I had a follow-on question to what Jakyung was saying. So I think what he was talking about was incorporation and restructuring, right? But I think slightly becomes more problematic for blockchain companies like ours, where we are focusing on RWA tokenization. So here is one of the problems we face, right? So where we have a token entity, we have the operations entity, but we are also tokenizing assets on the blockchain, and those assets have to be structured in a particular legal way. So do you see this emerging space also having certain legal patterns around it? For example,
it's another big question when we are talking about RWA. So first of all, what we need to understand, there are some levels on the rights on things. First of all, for example, I have a cup of coffee. This is my thing. I have a direct control of it. I can smash it. I can sell it. I can take it. So this is my direct control. So how I can use my cup of tea in other way? For example, we can create an entity, and this entity, we will take this cup and put it on the balance of the entity. So this is a standard solution when we're talking corporations. So why we create corporations? For the limitation of liability and for decision-making process between different actors that have different wills. For example, I and my friend have an entity, and we have a cup of coffee on this entity, and we can somehow control on this cup of coffee to our decision-making process through our director. For example, I have 50, I have 49 votes in this entity, and my friend have 51. So he has the decision voting rights. So when we are talking about RVA, so we have usually a cup of tea, an entity, and a token that emitted by this entity. So we have three elements. When I have 4 elements, first case, when I have a cup of tea, there's only 2 elements: me and my cup of tea. The second structure, 3 elements: cup of tea, entity, and me. The first idea of RVA, we have 4 elements: me, cup of tea, entity, and the token. So when we create, I'm not believe in RVA from the legal standpoint. The main problem of RVA is legal side. When we create additional entities, it's always a problem because it's much more harder to execute your concrete rights on the thing. So usually RVA are constructed about like real estate. RVA like real estate, like gold, like diamonds, like antique, like other things. So big things. And when we put intermediaries between the asset and the user, we create a legal uncertainty. When we are talking about RVA projects, I saw a lot of structures, really a lot of structures with more than 100 entities. I see the structures. So one case that we supported, we created for every object an entity to divide into shares, and then the shares we connect to the tokens. RVA business from the legal side, this is the most complicated business, and this complication and this legal uncertainty, this is one of the biggest killer of this idea. Because, for example, when we have we have our property right through intermediary in the standard font structures, why we use it? Because we have legal certainty, because we have laws, because we have understanding when something will be not good with this fund, with the fund manager, and etc. We can go to the court, and we somehow can resolve our situation. When we are talking about RVA businesses, it always cross-jurisdictional, and it always fully unpredictable how it will look like in a court, because we have no laws, we have no practice. This is the main problem of this business. Additional intermediary, additional intermediary. It always it makes the management 10 times more complicated. One additional intermediary, 10 times more complicated.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, but RVA is it will boost. I see it. A lot of projects are starting to emerge in the sphere, and but to legal structure the RVA project is always a task. It's a really difficult task, because really need to think about a lot of things here. So, yeah, next questions, guys.
One last point on that, if I may, Ruslan. Does it make sense to does it help simplifying if we partnered with broker dealers in separate countries? Like, I know it's a very generic thing to ask.
It's kind of general questions. So, but if we are taking into account just idea of simplicity, yes, please simplify it. First of all, why it's not popular at the moment? Because there is no legal prediction. For example, if I buy token of RVA project, I don't know how it will look like in 1 year, in 10 years. But if it will be a problem, where I go to court and how I will protect my rights and etc. I don't know what to do. And if you add more simplicity and you add more responsibility to the frontier point of this project, for example, you make an RVA project with the marketing, with the main company in the like UK. For example, you sell the portion of real estate, the usual model in the RVA business, for example. And you sell your portion of real estate around the world, like from the Philippines, from the Vietnam, from the Indonesia, from the Thailand, and etc. And you sell it around the world. How, for example, I buy it from the UK, or no, for example, I buy it from the United Arab Emirates. How I will protect my rights if I buy something and we will have a conflict? How I will believe in your project in the long term? This is the main question from the legal point of view.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Ruslan.
Yeah. Guys, have you any?
Yeah, I mean, just a short one. I mean, is there any like place else than the British Virgin Island who have like small small taxation issues and about the token issuance thing? Is possible?
Yeah, almost every offshore woo has no direct regulation on the token issuance is suitable for that purpose. For example, Seychelles is good also. Cayman is not good because they need to obtain. You need to obtain a license on any token issuance. Costa Rica, okay. St. Vincent Grenadines, a lot of companies, a lot of offshore zones. So, but the most of the big players and most of our clients using BVI because it's not so bad. So any offshore has their reputation. Like for example, Seychelles are in a blacklist. For example, BVI is also offshore with zero taxes. It's also offshore, but it's okay. It's not so bad.
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of considering like it might be a little bit better if they could also have the fiat currency bank account at the same.
You can open a bank account. You always can open a bank account. But why I'm not talking about bank accounts on the offshore companies? Because it's always the question of the control. For example, you are in Korea, as I understand. For example, you have a bank in Korea. For example, your entity will have some issues with the bank and your money is blocked. And you can go to the office of this company and you can solve your problem directly. But when we are talking about offshore bank accounts, even on a crypto company, it's possible to open a bank account. But for example, you will have a money here, and somehow will be a problem. All the communication will be through internet, through telephone, through email. It's not so good. It's not convenient. You are not secured here. So we are lawyers here are talking about the security standpoint, from the safety, from the risks, and etc. Why I advise you to, if you are has some liquidity, and we're talking about big money, big bucks, you need to first of all need about safety of your money. And if it's in crypto, crypto you can use everywhere, but bank account you can always be a problem. For example, we have a lot of cases where exchanges block their money. For example, Binance, OKX, Bybit, Gate.io, they always block somebody's money. Thousands, millions of dollars. Always, it's usually when you are trying to withdraw this money. And it's not possible to contact with the exchange. The most of the exchanges are registered on the offshore companies, offshore zones, Cayman, Seychelles, and etc. You can't communicate with them directly. You can't go to the office. It's a problem because you send them a message and they can answer you in 10 weeks. And you can't do anything with that.
Okay.
So also this problem. So also this problem with the offshore banks. When we are trying to solve our problems with the exchange, we always try to find guys on the exchanges. So it only works when you find the person that supports your interests on the exchange. But in the bank situation, try to find that guy in the offshore bank. It will be a costly.
Okay. Yep. Thank you very much. That really answered our question and doubts about it. Thank you.
Yeah. Happy to help. So yeah, one more thing. I started my a short lecture from the licensing standpoint. So licensing requirements, why it needs, where it needs, and why it not protects you from the regulator if it wants. Your risks from the regulator are rising when your project is rising. For example, if we take into account two big exchanges like Binance and Coinbase, Binance and Coinbase, they have really big legal teams. They have a license around the world. For example, Coinbase mainly work in the US market, and they have a problem with the US regulator. But in the US, they were fully compliant. They obtained all the license that they needed and that existed at the moment. They are fully compliant, but it doesn't help because the question of crypto regulation at the moment, it's not the question of law. It's the more question of politics. And if you are a small project, if you are not top 100 in a coin market cap, you almost will not face any issues. But you need to think not from the regulator standpoint, first of all. You need to, from the standpoint of funds that you're going to communicate, investors that you're going to communicate, and third parties that you will going to communicate it, like exchanges, like marketing providers, like banks, and etc. These guys are going to communicate, and these guys have some requirements. Like every of these actors are making a due deal of your project, and your due diligence is taking into account several things. First of all, the company of incorporation, licenses, and etc. that I talked about. The second thing that I taken into account, the founder's track record. So it basically for all of these actors, they check your previous experience of founders, of CEOs, and advisors. The first thing that they will look through is intellectual property. It's not about banks, it's basically about investors. So investors check about how your intellectual property is fixed. And fourth point, again, from your investors' point of view, they check your corporate structure and what do you sell. Your tokenomics, from which company you sell your token, what is the connection between your company and your company and token issuance company, and they look at the how you will see your investment activity. So some of the company choosing to sell only tokens, some of the companies choose to sell only shares, and some companies are decided to sell and tokens and shares and everything that they want to sell. And big funds are always going through that very carefully, and you need to prepare your plan of your investment activities of raising the funds very carefully. So here we have 4 points that due diligence are looking through. So you need to remember that. Intellectual property. So the basic asset of any IT company is intellectual property. What you need to understand about intellectual property is that if you have no any employment contract, or you have no a contract with your developers, your company do not have any intellectual property. If you not registered your trademark, you have no trademark. If you, for example, registered trademark in South Korea, but in USA you have no trademark, your rights can be damaged in the United States, and etc. A lot of things that founders need to understand about the regulation, but this is the basics. So, guys, have you any questions? So if you have no questions, we can finish here.
One more question. Oh, sorry. Just wanted to know the cost of all these, and what's the most efficient way? Like you mentioned a lot of entities and things. Like which country would you think recommend is the cheapest way to go, or how much do you think ballpark cost everything cost in your experience?
Yeah, if we're talking about BVI, for example, it usually costs for like 2K for the price of the office and the registered agent services. We're not talking about our services of supporting all this process. 2K, this is the starting point.
Okay, and you think BVI is the place to register the token issuing company, right?
Yes, okay. Sure.
And then for the 2K, do you have do you have some list of services you recommend just to do the basic?
Yeah, we can discuss it in our direct messages. So I think Kylie will provide all the information about my contacts. Yeah, if you have any questions, I will happy to help with that. All the things regarding the crypto regulation, structuring, contracts, licensing, and etc. We can help with that.
Okay, thank you.
Kylie?
No, I was just going to say thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Someone has a hands.
Sorry.
So if you have any questions, just you can write to me directly. I will help.
Okay, so you guys
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.